I request Professor van der Steenhoven, Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology, and Professor Wessel, Dean of the School of Management and Governance, to escort Mr. Termeer to the front of the stage. I now invite the honorary academic promoter, Professor van Bitterswijk, to present his citation.
It must have been early 2000 when a taxi driver drove me along the Charles River in Boston and pointed out a landmark building of which he said it housed a company that grew living cells, living skin, to treat and save the lives of severe burn wound patients, and also grew cells to repair knee joints. I don't know how many taxi rides I've taken abroad over the years. There are countless, but never before had a taxi driver so enthusiastically reported on a biotech company. This company truly had to be remarkable in order to stand out in the very successful biotech environment of the Boston area. Actually, I knew the company well. Genzyme had set the stage for the international tissue engineering business. Frankly, I felt a bit guilty at the time because the company that I led had just took away part of the sales force of Genzyme exactly because of this expertise. I do not think that Genzyme's chief executive officer, Henri Termeer, knew. It was not the company's most important product. They had much more interesting products. And the company was moving ahead very fast as one of America's most successful biotech ventures. Over the last years, I've pondered many times on as to why the States are so tremendously successful in building business out of science as compared to the Netherlands. It must have to do with our relative lack of visionary businessmen that can cope with the uncertainties of science, have the guts to deal with it, and can build business models that are interesting to investors and then push the company towards making products and selling these as an interesting margin. Henri Termeer is such a man. He graduated at Rotterdam University and then, originally aiming at leading his family's shoe business, went to London and then decided to embark on an MBA in Virginia, then to join what was the cradle for biotech talent at the time, Baxter International. In 1983, headhunters from Genzyme approached him and he joined Genzyme, the company, at half the salary, leading a struggling 2-year-old company with only potential going for it. In December of that year, extracts from placentas obtained by Genzyme treated a 4-year-old boy with Gaucher's disease, a rare and potentially deadly disease. The boy recovered, and against the advice of his scientific advisory board, knowing perfectly well that in order to treat one patient for a single year, you would need 22,000 human placentas, Henri Termeer built a plant in France and processed 75% of the discarded human placentas. And in 1991, the Food and Drug Administration approved the drug Cerezyme. Now it's made by recombinant DNA technology, and it is saving the lives of thousands of people. And at the same time, it is the world's most expensive drug. Today, Genzyme has other therapies for other rare diseases, and under Henri Termeer, it has created tremendous value. Recently, it was acquired by Sanofi Aventis for the staggering sum of $20 billion and an upside. That's roughly the value of our national pride. And this success is completely caused by Henri Termeer. I do not know what the future brings us for Henri Termeer, but I'm sure that he will continue to change healthcare. Now he is already focusing not more on orphan diseases, but on neglected diseases in developing countries like malaria and sleeping disease. And he is also wondering on how to deal with the ever-increasing cost of healthcare. Ladies and gentlemen, Henri Termeer is a man to watch.
Thank you very much, Professor van Blitterswijk. I now request the doctorate board to rise. All others remain seated. At the meeting on the 22nd of September 2010, the doctorate board of the University of Twente decided, by virtue of its authority under Dutch law, to confer the degree of Doctor Honoris Causa on Henri Termeer for his role as one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world of biotechnology and for bringing new treatments to patients around the world. I request the honorary academic promoter, Professor van Blitterswijk, to perform the task with which he has been charged.
By virtue of the power vested in me, and on behalf of the doctorate board, I promote you, Henri Termeer, as Doctor Honoris Causa and grant you the rights associated with that title. In evidence, I clothe you with the kappa of the University of Twente and present you with the certificate signed by the Rector Magnificus and the honorary promoter ratified by the seal of the University of Twente.
It is my privilege to congratulate you, Dr. Termeer, with your honorary doctorate on behalf of the University of Twente. May I now invite you to address the audience. You be seated.
Your Majesty, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Blitterswijk, thank you so much for so many very nice comments. It is a tremendous honor to be here, to stand here, to experience yesterday this university. This is a remarkable place. I really was not sufficiently familiar with it. But very early on in the Genzyme picture, I was the beneficiary of a concept that I saw being lived here so strongly, the concept of translating discovery, translating science, translating breakthroughs to where it becomes part of another structure, another societal structure, to allow it to become part of something people can use. We were very closely associated with MIT, and they helped us enormously. And the 700 companies that came out of the University of Twente are helped enormously. And the other tremendously exciting moment, of course, is we are but at the very beginnings of what these sciences, these technologies really can mean. I was born too early. The last 25 years were a great 25 years. The next 25 years are really going to produce breakthroughs that will change our aspiration about health, our ambition about health, how we work. All of this, of course, is part of a global movement in a direction. And I found, in my experience here in Twente, here in Enschede, at the University of Twente, a touch, a feel, a respect for how the process really comes together, how the process allows something to really work and to translate it to where patients can benefit. I'm deeply grateful to have been introduced in this fashion to this institution. And I'm particularly grateful to have received this recognition in the Netherlands, the country of my birth, where I spent my youth. This makes this moment very, very special for me indeed. Thank you very much.